Denise Gwen, reading aloud for you from my short story, The Greasy Spoon, Chapter 45. As he knelt in the tall grass, thinking his thoughts, the hiss and whine of a freight truck roaring to life startled him. He lifted his head and gazed above the grass and watched with a rising dread as the cab shuddered forward, hitched, the gears whined, the cab driver shifted into a lower gear, and the truck, with the enormous and now empty delivery bay, pulled away from the loading dock. A terrible impulse to jump from his hiding place, race after the truck and catch a ride the hell out of here, overcame him, and he sat there in an agony of indecision as the truck rumbled around the bend, the gears shifted, the truck picked up speed and tore straight through the gate at the entrance to the farm. Furtive movement in the back of the truck caught his gaze, and he strained his eyes to see, and there, where once hogs had been stored on their way to the slaughterhouse, were a number of factory workers clinging to the steel girders and shouting with glee as they quitted their employment. The side door burst open again. He lifted the handgun, preparing to shoot Jeb, but instead, a big crowd of screaming, honking, and hooting hogs erupted from inside the factory and ran off in all directions. These animals were enormous, and a few ran toward him, and as they drew near, he jumped to his feet to avoid being trampled, and the hogs screamed in terror and veered away. But one intrepid soul, with an angry red spray-painted cull on his flank, noticed Ed lying in the grass and drew near and poked his snout at Ed's stomach and snuffled. Nick wondered, did he dare shoot a hog or two to get them off Ed's body? He wanted to, only he was starting to think of what he'd say to the police when he got back to civilization, because he might just get out of here. And with these thoughts came a sobering one. How am I going to explain all this? If he shot a hog or two, it'd make noise. And he still didn't know what happened to good old Jeb. More hogs fled the factory and ran toward him. And now there was a huge herd of them. A mass exodus of hogs fled from their hell. And Nick was obliged to pocket the firearm and collect the 2 rifles. And he stepped aside as they snorted and snuffled around Ed's body. They stepped on him and peed on him. Oh, how disgusting, how disgusting. And then a couple started nibbling on his hands, and, well, Nick decided that he'd seen enough. He knew he ought to escape through this door right here. It was his quickest way back to the trucks. But he sensed that he needed to check on Clem. Yes, let's see what my old pal Clem's doing. Why, Clem might even have an idea or two.